Martha Winters had it all, or so it seemed to the outside world. A successful businesswoman, wealthy beyond imagination. But in the middle of all that luxury, she was empty. She craved something real, something raw, something passionate. And then she met Jake Carter, a younger man whose carefree nature was the complete opposite of her structured life. He was a flame she couldn't resist, but the fire that lit between them was one that would soon burn out of control, leading to a love that ended in devastation. It was a night Martha would never forget. She had just finished a long dinner with business partners when she decided to walk along the beach. The moon was low, casting a soft glow across the waves, and that's when she saw him, Jake, shirtless, with the ocean's mist dancing on his skin, his carefree laugh piercing through the sound of the waves crashing. Martha felt a spark she hadn't felt in years. She had everything, but not this a thrilling attraction that made her feel young again. Their eyes met, and his smile grew wider as he walked toward her, not caring about their age difference. "Nice night for a walk, isn't it?" he said, his voice smooth with a playful edge. She smiled back, surprised. "It is. I didn't expect company, neither did I," he replied with a wink, making her heart race. The night flew by with laughter, drinks, and lingering glances. When their hands finally touched, it felt electric. Jake was unlike anyone she'd known. He cared nothing for her money or status. He was young, free, and made her feel alive. As the night ended, wrapped in each other's arms, Martha thought, maybe this was the start of something beautiful. Days turned into weeks, and Jake and Martha's bond grew stronger. Every moment with him felt special. He made her feel happy and alive again. Jake's charm made it easy for her to spoil him with nice trips and clothes. But it was more than just gifts. Martha gave him her heart. He enjoyed the attention, laughing when other women looked at him. She thought it was fun, but inside, she was getting addicted to him. Every moment without Jake felt long. She spent her days thinking about him, waiting for his texts, and planning their next adventure. She believed she loved him, but the more she gave, the more she wanted from him in return. As the months passed, Martha began to notice small changes. Jake was no longer as available. His once playful flirting had turned into long absences. He would disappear for hours, sometimes days, without telling her where he was going. Each time he came back with some excuse, an old friend he bumped into, or a guy's night out. One night, Martha planned a romantic dinner. She lit candles, wore her finest dress, and made his favorite meal. But Jake never showed. Her calls went straight to voicemail. She sat there waiting, her heart pounding with dread. Hours passed, and finally, he stumbled in drunk, smelling of perfume that wasn't hers. Martha felt a lump rise in her throat. "Where were you?" she asked, her voice trembling. "Relax, babe. Just having fun with some friends." "You can't control me," Jake slurred, brushing past her. For the first time, Martha felt the sting of betrayal. From that night, something changed in Martha. She had given Jake everything, but he felt like he was slipping away, and the thought of him with another woman drove her crazy. She became obsessed, waiting outside his apartment, following him, and calling him nonstop. Jake, feeling overwhelmed, asked for space, saying she was smothering him. But Martha couldn't stop. The fear of losing him consumed her, and as her world crumbled, he seemed to slip right through her fingers. One stormy night, Martha's anxiety hit its peak. Jake had been avoiding her calls for 2 days. Desperate, she drove to his apartment, the rain pelting down on her car, as if the storm was mirroring the chaos inside her mind. She banged on his door, soaked to the bone. Finally, Jake opened it, his expression cold and distant. Behind him, there were empty wine glasses, 2 of them. Martha's heart shattered. "Who was here, Jake?" she demanded, her voice barely above a whisper. "It's not what you think," Jake said, his voice calm to calm. But Martha wasn't listening. The pain was too much. She lunged toward him, tears streaming down her face. "You said you loved me. You promised you'd never leave me," she sobbed, gripping his shirt. Jake pushed her away, his patience finally breaking. "I never loved you, Martha. I loved the money. I loved the fun. But you're crazy." His words were like a knife to her heart. In that moment, something inside Martha snapped. She grabbed the nearest object, a wine bottle from the table, and swung it wildly. The room fell into a deafening silence, broken only by the sound of the rain hammering against the windows. Martha stood over Jake's motionless body, her hands trembling, her breath shallow. She knelt beside him, whispering his name, hoping he would move, hoping this was just another one of their fights and that everything would be okay in the morning. But Jake didn't respond. Martha's world shattered at that moment. All she had wanted was love, but her love had turned into something darker, something she couldn't control. She sat there, staring at the man she thought she loved, realizing the monster she had become. The sirens came quickly, flashing lights lighting up the dark apartment as police took Martha away. She barely understood what was happening, her mind stuck in the past. Now, sitting in a cold prison cell, she wondered if things could have been different. If only she hadn't pushed so hard or tried to control everything. But it was too late. Martha had spent her life chasing love, but it was her need for control that led to her downfall, and the heavy guilt of knowing her love had cost Jake his life.